The subject of Ukraine really gets my goat. So I want to speak a bit that the vast majority of Americans do not think the United States should be trying to control every other country over in Europe or Taiwan, which is a breakaway country from China to begin with, or we're going to nuke you. Okay, so I want to look at some of the hypocrisies. And as far as Russia, I've been wondering for decades, why are we taught to hate the Russians? When they don't hate us, they cried when the space shuttle blew up. We go over there, we live over there, they live over here. Why in the hell are we taught to hate the Russians? I never have understood that. It's political. And it has to do with nuclear weapons and a bunch of bullshit, not the Russian people hating the Americans and the Americans hating the Russian people. Why does this brainwashing go on? I never have understood it. Okay, here's what gets me. Ukraine was part of Russia. They have not been independent since the 1600s. There are Russians living in there. They were part of Russia. Ukraine, when the Soviet Union collapsed, after we forced them into collapse, Ukraine broke away and in effect is like a rogue country. Well, you think the United States wasn't in on that? You bet they were, because we would want Ukraine to be part of us, to where we can move in missiles and stuff to attack Russia. You bet they were behind it. So in effect, Ukraine is, Russia is correct in that they could be looked at as a rogue country that broke away in a time of weakness of the Soviet Union. They took Crimea, and it's great. People supported it. They wanted to be part of Russia and part of Russia again. And Ukraine, a lot of the public would prefer to be part of Russia again. And look what they did in Crimea. They went into Crimea and doubled the wages to bring them more into line with Russian wages. So people are happy. It was the greatest thing they ever did. And yet even back then, oh, they're going to go into Crimea. We must threaten them with nuclear war. Mutual assured destruction if you do it, even though that was part of Russia. Suppose California secedes and breaks away, like during now our time of national collapse. Okay, well, you think we wouldn't take California back in 10 or 15 years? So let's look at it. It's complex, so these will probably be one where I do several uploads. No, I had that right. Okay, here's Ukraine and here's Crimea. Ukraine was part of Russia. It was part of Russia. Okay, now the United States backs Ukraine being independent so we can move our missiles in there. You think we weren't in on it, them breaking away to begin with? You bet we were. Let's look at the Cuban Missile Crisis, okay? Here's Turkey. The United States put Jupiter missiles, nuclear missiles, into Turkey along here to launch into Russia. So then Russia, gets into Cuba, and because of this, all these nuclear missiles right on their border, they says, okay, well, we'll put some nuclear missiles there to balance the equation. Okay, it's good the missiles got run out. But the point is that for Biden to say, we will give dire consequences if you go into Ukraine. Now, what Russia wants is the eastern part of Ukraine, with mostly Russians in there, to be part of the Soviet Union, as do the people in here. They don't necessarily want to take over all the way over to here, but they want the eastern part as part of Russia, with access to ports, this, that, the other thing. But the United States cannot dictate to the world and be all the way across the world and dictating what's going on here when it's a Russian-Ukraine situation. few people in the United States support it. They say we shouldn't be doing this bullshit. Now, let's look at over here. Okay, so you've got Taiwan, which was part of China, and so it's right next to their shores. You can see China from here. But no, just like Cuba, we move our missiles in or else give them support and do the same thing by proxy. And so China's saying they're a breakaway country and we don't like them being there right next to our shores when it's been established as a military base. So now we say, well, we will nuke China if they do anything with Taiwan. Well, we can't keep doing that. Look at Vietnam. Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh was winning the election and we saw it, so we went and stopped it. He was legitimately winning. We say, no, we can't have Russia taking over the world and taking over all this. Well, it didn't happen. It didn't happen, so it was all a bunch of bullshit. But we absolutely cannot keep provoking these people as to why they hate us when we've got them ringed with nuclear missiles right here, and we're all the way over on the other side of the world, and yet we're going over here. We're going to nuke if you do this. We're going to run our ships through there. We're going to shoot down planes and sink boats. It's bullshit. In the correct case, you do it, not the shit that's we're doing.